First of all, we're so grateful for our guest, Martin, being here, even though he looks younger than everyone. But I guess we'll have to accept that's probably partly Healy. And secondly, I want to mention that we've got some rather unusual people on this Healy call. We have a really, really well-known and wondrous human being, Dr. Pompa, who's helped hundreds and hundreds of people in a variety of ways, and will probably have some rather unusual questions to ask. We have, we should have a friend of mine, a brother of mine from Malaysia, who's a quantum medical doctor, Dr. Jaya, and we may even have on the phone with us my dear brother, Mohana, who was at the original meeting in Singapore 5 years ago for Timewaver, and actually has had 10 treatments on the big brother of the Healy, the Timewaver. And we have very likely on the call Linda, and Linda's very interestingly enough has an associate very likely on the call who's actually helping out with the legalization and compliance issues with Healy World in the United States. And so we have a wonderful array of people here, some of whom have had many years of experience with frequencies and know far more than I do. And now I want to introduce to you Max. Max is our upline partner, and he lives in Thailand. He's from Germany. His mom's in Germany, and she very kindly shipped me the Healy that I now have, and I'm going to be working with very enthusiastically now that I figured out how to put the buttons and the prongs and all of that. And I wanted to context the call. What we'll be doing is Max will be showing something about the Healy, telling us a few things. And then Max will be introducing Martin. And Martin will be sharing with us his vast array of experience, both with the Timewaver and the Healy, and the science behind this. And it is a science. It is an intangible and audible and yet highly efficacious science that many are coming into an awareness of today and understand that it underlies our whole biochemical structure, that is our bioenergetic field. And then we'll have you will be able to ask your questions. And I'll probably just listen because I don't know as much as most of you. Thank you, Max. Max Gloeckner from Thailand and Germany.
Yeah, I don't know if you see my video, but yeah, obviously I'm from Thailand. No, I'm German, but I live in Thailand. And hey guys, it's such a pleasure to meet you all and see you here on the call. I see Mohana, I see Martin actually shaking, agreeing his head while Steven is talking about it. So obviously it's a beautiful group of people here, and I'm really grateful to be on that call with you guys. Yeah, it's 1 a.m. in Thailand right now. I'm using the Healy since 10 months. So since I'm using the frequency, I don't need to sleep anymore. No, that was a joke actually. I still need to sleep. It's 1 a.m., but I know it's a good time for you guys. So I'm happy to do that call with you. And yeah, well, I would love to show you the device, but I gave it away today to somebody who really wanted to have it. And I tell you, this is basically the worst thing you can do to me right now is taking away the Healy for a day or two, because it became such a lifestyle device for me. It really is like, it is, I don't know, it's part of my life. And maybe I just want to share a few words about my own experience, about how I experienced the Healy. And trust me, the Healy has done so many amazing things to people who really needed the Healy.
Excuse me, Max. I don't know how the Zoom works, but can I put this in your hands through Zoom?
It might be possible soon, my friend, but it's not possible right now. But you can show your Healy actually on your camera. So okay, this is for everybody who hasn't seen the Healy yet, but I believe you've seen it. Now, when you say something, Stephen, yeah, Martin also has one. Amazing. I see say something, Stephen, so your camera lights up.
I can say something, yes. Here's my Healy, all mine.
You're a lucky guy. My friend.
I'm not lending it out to anybody.
No, it's tremendous. Like really, like it for me. It's been an amazing journey over the last 10 months. Starting with a device I completely, absolutely didn't know anything about until Marco Schmieke was telling me something about everything has a frequency and frequencies are everywhere, and whatever you need, there's a frequency for that. So it really sounded way too good to be true for me. But I really believed is like when you the last thing you should do today is having a closed mind to things. So I really had an open mind and I tried it for myself. And fast forward 10 months later, I really don't want to live without that device anymore. It is bringing me to the next level in terms of energy, in terms of sleeping, in terms of good feeling, good mood. I haven't been sick since 10 months since I'm using that device. And trust me, my lifestyle was really rapid the last 10 months. I was traveling a lot, entertaining, sleeping just a little bit, and then again in the plane. And I know my body, usually if I'm exposing my body to so many toxins and so much stress, I get weak. And the moment I feel weak, I know what kind of program I play. I play some programs from the gold cycle. We go later into the cycles and into programs. And it really, it gets me out of these feelings. So I feel like I'm almost unbeatable right now. I know it sounds like I'm exaggerating, but I'm really so convinced about this product, what it does to me in terms of prevention and in terms of helping my life to become to the next level. And the more beautiful thing about not talking about my experience is seeing now every day a growing community, and I'm waking up literally every morning with 2, 3, 4 new testimonials on my phone. I'm reading in some groups of people that have just amazing experience and beautiful results. And this is something what I feel like is even much more important than building a thriving business for us, is really making a difference. So I believe I know the Healy is a game changer, the Healy is a life changer, and the Healy is changing the world. And this is what we're doing right now, really. And I believe with the power of all of us, it's so much more is possible. So you hear my excitement, guys, and I can really explain and talk now for an hour. Steven, you know me, sometimes I don't stop talking about my experience anymore because I just don't want to stop, because I want to share it to everybody. But we have a really important person on the call right now, and I know you guys are really eager to understand more about the technology, about where is Healy coming from, what is Timewaver, what's the background of it. And so I would like to introduce my dear friend Martin Wittmann, who's now with us from Berlin, I think, in Berlin in Germany. And he's one of the, almost like one of the original founders, one of the best friends of Marco Schmieke, who was the creator, who had originally the idea. And Martin is the CEO of all the medical devices, technology development and product development for Timewaver and for Healy. So he's one of the main guys in the company. And so I'm really pleased to have him on the call. And I wanted to have that call as small as possible with just selected people. And you guys are all selected through Steven and Dr. Pompa, because I believe the questions we're going to ask him later can be very deep in technology and in your kind of fields, where I'm just standing back because I would never understand these kind of things you might want to talk about later, but I'm very happy to listen into it later. So I would like to give the word a little bit to Martin Wittmann, who can lead us through the product, and also maybe Martin about the history of Timewaver and Healy, and maybe your own experience, your own journey, which I think is very interesting for all of us. So thank you for being with us on the call. And yeah, Martin Wittmann, maybe the word to you. Thank you.
And before Martin begins to talk, Max, I just wanted to say that you never have to apologize for your passion, because it's self-evident. It comes from your heart. It's unconditional, and it's not manipulative. It's just you expressing what you love. And we all appreciate that.
I appreciate you, Steve. Thank you. All right, Martin.
So thanks a lot for, bringing together such a lovely group. So I had, just a few weeks a call with an Australian team, and they were also a very diverse group, and they asked a lot of very deep questions. And so I'm really looking forward to this call. And so what I want to start with, so I want to share my screen, and just, for the ones that are on the phone, it's a little, not so very convenient, but I think you will understand it anyway. So I want to start with the product world. So what do we have with Healy? What is Healy World about? So it's not about only Healy. So Healy is in the center of everything. So this is our current product structure basically, and Healy is the center. So why is Healy the center? Because it's unique, because it uses unique technology, and it has amazing results, and it has a lots of different functions. It's basically not a simple frequency device or a simple analysis device. No, it combines all those things and actually brings them together and combines them with the cloud technology, with other apps and with other devices. So I want to tell you a small glimpse, maybe what is there and what is there to come. So the first thing is we have the Healy in the center, we have a frequency device, and we have a information field guided frequency device. So the big difference between Healy and all the other frequency devices, so you can find frequency devices which are 100 years old, they do frequencies, they do all the same things basically, but Healy is using the Timewaver technology to analyze the right frequency. So what is the main, or what is the core intelligence of the Healy? So Healy has automatic programs and static programs. The static programs, they're just one frequency, like a usual frequency device, for example, for anxiety and ear electrodes or something like that. There you have simple frequency which is applied 20 minutes and you feel instantly the effect. But what we also have is automations, how we call them. And automations is a logic which is combined out of 3 different logical steps that are possible in those programs. The first logical step is real time. And real time is basically a bandwidth of, for example, 1 to 1 kilohertz. And then you analyze every 10 seconds out of this bandwidth which frequency has the highest resonance with you. So which frequency is the best for you. Then you apply this frequency for 10 seconds and then analyze the next one with the quantum sensor. Then you have as a second step resonance. Resonance is basically the same thing. You have a bandwidth, for example, from 1 to 1 kilohertz. Then you analyze the frequency, but then you analyze the progress. The progress goes from -100 to +100. And what does the progress do? It analyzes how long do you need the frequency actually? How long does your body need the frequency until it's adapted, or it has it changed, or it changed something, or your body says, okay, I don't need it anymore. Then if it's going up to 95%, then it stops this frequency and analyzes the next frequency. Now we come to the most important step, logical step, which is contained in those programs. It's called indications. So indications uses databases of frequencies, which you can load into this indications, which you can fill up the indications with. And those databases are out of the 144,000 gold frequencies. So for example, you know, there are 10 different frequencies which stimulate the liver or which stimulate the kidneys. And then you pack in those frequencies in one database and you pack this database into this logical step indications. So what happens? The Healy analyzes out of this small range of frequencies, the frequencies which have the highest resonance with you, and applies them with progress. So it analyzes which frequencies of the special frequencies you need and how long you need it. And that makes Healy very special compared to every other frequency device, because some people took care about the frequencies, they know what they do, they pack it into a program and you just have to use it. So you make basically the knowledge of a very sophisticated community available for the end user. And that's the difference between Healy and every other device. Coming to other devices, we have the Healy Watch. I also have here one, so I can show you shortly. Wait a second, I just unshare my screen for a second so you actually can see something. So here's the Healy Watch, which is a tracker device, which also can measure the ECG. So we call it bioenergetic pulse rhythm analysis. Wait a second, I just share my screen again. And with the Healy Watch, so we basically combined this technology that you know or you can use programs for a special purpose. But the next question, of course, was, what program should I use for? So if you have pain, it's clear you use a pain program, but if you just feel not very good or you want to feel better, what to use them? And then we said, okay, very easy solution is that we analyze your body signals. So it's about knowing your body. So you measure for the ECG, you measure the heart rate and so on. And then we combine this, or we analyze those measurements and extract 6 vital parameters. So those 6 vital parameters can go from minus to plus and have a normal space in between. And out of this parameters, we extract recommendations for frequency programs, so that you actually can measure something and can get a frequency application that actually helps you with whatever you have on a physical level. Then, of course, we also have the highly acclaimed Healy Advisor Analyze app. So this app actually uses the second function of the Healy, or a different application of the quantum sensor, basically. So here you do actual analysis in the information field. So you analyze in your field the information you need to make it better, or to serve a special purpose or something like that. So what is the sense behind it, or the technology behind it? So basically we have also databases, but those databases don't contain frequencies. Those databases now contain, for example, special remedies or bug flowers or homeopathic remedies, or just sabotage or wrong beliefs or something like that. And then you analyze out of those databases which has the highest resonance with you in your field. And then you can use this information for once to read it, to absorb the information, to understand your problem, or to understand how the solution works. And then, of course, you can also use this information and send it back through the quantum sensor in the information field. So that's basically the whole spectrum of the products we are using and we are combining. So how are we combining all those things? We're combining them in the Healy Advisor cloud. So all this information goes in the cloud, and there we are establishing right now different AIs, so artificial intelligence and so on, so that you actually can use all the information from an individual and of all the users of Healy World to make the application recommendations and the recommendations for your personal situation even more accurate and more individual and more, how do we call it, real time. So you actually get a feedback out of the cloud. And what we then established, or what we already established, to use all this information, I mean, you have different systems and that everything gets a little confusing. Then we introduced the Healy Advisor app. So what is the Healy Advisor app? The Healy Advisor app is your dashboard, basically, where you get all the information out of all the other apps together. So we are right now in progress of integrating all the information in the cloud and getting it from the cloud into the Healy Advisor app. But for now, the Healy Advisor app is actually, the Healy Advisor app actually contains 2 modules. One is the digital nutrition module, and the other is the Healy Advisor search module. So I want to start with the Healy Advisor search module. So the Healy Advisor search module basically is a simple search engine, but the simple search engine has a very dynamic expert database behind it. So it's an expert database where actually all the knowledge and the interconnections between organs, meridians, symptoms, diseases, and frequency programs are there, and they are interconnected. So if you search for a symptom, if you search for an organ, you always get recommendations of frequency programs which might help you in this regards. And this is combined with the digital nutrition module. So in the digital nutrition module, you can also search in this expert database, but now you get digital nutrition frequency programs. And those frequency programs are simply there to help you to absorb, for example, vitamins or minerals or something better. So what does digital nutrition do? Digital nutrition has two functions, the search functions, and the second function is the assistant. So in the assistant, you choose what's your problem, what is your kind of eating, are you vegan, are you vegetarian, and so on, do you have an intolerance? And out of this survey, we have frequency recommendations and of course, eating recommendations. So basically food recommendations. So the combination, everyone knows if you eat healthy, if you do sports, if you drink a lot, healthy water and so on, you're basically fit. But people don't know anymore what's best for their body. What is now for me in my condition, what is the best thing? So we are searching for those foods and giving you the frequency programs to absorb the things you might lack even better. Because for example, a very big example, or how do you call it? Radical example is leaky gut syndrome, for example. I mean, if you have leaky guts, you can eat whatever you want, so lots of supplements and so on and things, but if your intestine can't absorb it, it won't work. So it goes in the same way it goes out. So what we are aiming for is to get those reasons that, or the root causes, and work on them and make it possible for you to get the absorption of minerals, to get it all done better, and to basically bioenergetics strengthen your whole body. So now I want to deep dive a little into the systems, but first, wait a second, that I already explained. That was too far, just give me a second. Here, that's the logic or the philosophy that's also behind the Healy World, so the whole universe of Healy products. So what we want to achieve is to have the combination of the three pillars: nutrition, frequencies, and exercise. So nutrition for life, frequencies for life, and motion for life. So that you have, if you have the right amount of motion in your life, you breathe the right way, and you have the right frequencies that help you in all regards of your life. If you want to strengthen your body, if you want to get a bioenergetic balancing, if you're feeling not so very healthy and so on. And of course, nutrition for life. Everyone knows if you don't eat right, if you don't eat the right things, then you never can be healthy. So those three pillars we are combining in one big universe, in one big ecosystem, which is interconnected and self-learning permanently. So that's basically the goal that we are aiming for with the Healy World. Of course, the vision behind all of that is to get people, or to enable everyone to take their life back into their own hands. So life is not about earning money to pay your bills, to go to the doctor and he tells you what to do and what is right and wrong. No, you are your own healer, you are your own master, and you just need to be enabled and to be reminded of what your body can do, of what you can do. So a healer or a therapist or a doctor is always only someone who guides you to your own health. So he just is someone who guides you. It's not someone, a healer is not going there and heal you. It's like if you don't want to get healed, if you don't want to get healthy, no one can help you. So what we want to do is to get the self-healing abilities, the self-thinking abilities, the consciousness, to get it back in your own hands and to enable you. And that's what we are aiming for with Healy World, what we're aiming for with all our products, to just enable people to get healthy again, on a mental state, on a physical state, and on a cultural state, basically. Because as you all know, some cultures have some very weird things integrated, which are not very healthy for your mind and for your body also at the end of the day. So that's what we are aiming for. We are aiming for change for everyone. So I just want to show you a little more details about the expert database. So that's basically the database we are building up. So if you have the relationship between poor health, markers, meridian, food, substance, organs, and emotions, then you have a solid base you can search in. But the thing that we are doing, we are combining it with artificial intelligence and with our expert team. So our expert team is permanently filling up the system. So we are right now getting lots of feedback from the Healy Advisor app for people that searching for all the weirdest things, I might say. And we try to integrate this in this database so we get even more good results for everyone who searches in there.
Like 2 days ago, I got what I thought was what I believe to be the final version. And
Come again?
this needs, there's a clause in there that's vague, and it has to do with, you know, like production-based incentives or overrides on the market or something, and I really want that to be clear. Otherwise, it's just a job for a base salary, and it's not exciting to me.
You want to mute that, Max? Who is that?
Okay. So I want to go a little deeper into the Healy Watch. So it's all about knowing your body. So it's basically a frequency measurement of your bioenergetic field. Then you have exercise and sports, of course, inside, because it's a tracker, sleep tracking, breathe tracking, lifestyle tracking, all those things. And now we combine this as a closed feedback system, basically with the Healy. So it measures the frequency and then it analyzes it. So it determines the right frequencies for you. So it's basically, it comes down to 3 easy steps. You measure first your vital signals, then you analyze the signals, and then you determine the right frequencies. And of course, all combined with the Healy Advisor Cloud. So what we introduced is the bioenergetic rhythm analysis, the bioenergetic pulse analysis, and the infrared analysis. And there, combined with the heart rate, the stress level, and the sleep tracking, we are getting all the informations we need to give the right recommendations. And here is the result, basically. So you have your heart rate, your BPA, your stress, your tension, rigidity, and pressure. And then you have always too high, too low, and the middle. If you are in the middle, then you are in the right space. Then you have basically healthy system, and you don't need too much frequency programs, because that's also important to know. If you have a frequency application, those frequency actually do something in your body. So they triggering often a lot of change. So the healthier you are, the more frequency programs you can basically do. If you are less healthy, you should do less frequency programs, because your body needs to absorb the change. You need to give your body the possibility to make the change happen that the frequencies trigger. So that's also very important. Also very important is, of course, to drink the right amount of good, healthy, clean water. And of course, you have to have fresh air. And also, because we are talking about frequency programs, so it's a current, microcurrent, which is flowing in and out of your body. The most important thing is that the electrons that you have in your body are actually balanced. So it's a very good thing if you go once a day, just for a few minutes, you go outside barefoot and earth yourself. So the electrons can actually balance again, which are in your body. So that's a very crucial thing. So you should tell everyone that has a Healy. We have also a first steps sheet on that you know that those things are important, because your body can't absorb the change if you, for example, do a detox program and try to get all the toxins out, but you're not drinking enough. Or if you are doing energy programs and pumping up your body with lots of energy, but you don't earth enough, so that you get the electron to balance out again. Just this on this one. And of course, one very important thing is also the organ clock. So in the Healy original version, we have the Healy Holistic Health Plus, we have meridians programs, but they are according to fall. And here we have the meridian programs, especially for the Healy Watch, which are based on traditional Chinese medicine. So there you always get the right meridian or the organ, which is now active. And then you get the right frequency program to support your active organs. So you basically get the energy up and make it possible that they do their work even better. Here you have the standard functions that every tracker has with SOS, timer, and so on. I won't deep dive into this one. There you have our medical advisory board. So we're having Nuno Nina from Portugal, which has lots of clinics and is basically the founder or the developer of the 144,000 gold frequencies. We have Dr. Karen McMakin, which FSM, so that's something we have in our professional devices. Dr. Ludwig Jakob, who's actually a specialist on, how do you call it, metabolism and food and all those, interconnections. Dr. Volker Meissner, which is a, orthodox medicine practitioner, which has a lot of energy medicine and a lot of information field medicine background. Dr. Heinrich Haschka, this is a specialist between all different kinds of therapies, who is building also with us the database. Dr. Lina Banos, who's a doctor of general medicine also, and she's very good. And also from Taiwan, from India, and also from Berlin, very acclaimed doctors that have very unique gifts. And that's also a thing that Timewaver brings with it. So in Timewaver, we have all those therapists and practitioners and doctors, and they all have their special knowledge. So one is a homeopath, one is traditional Chinese medicine. They are all specialists on something, and we have lots of partners which we work on modules to incorporate all this knowledge into our system. And at the end of the day, a part of it, of course, goes to Healy, only the thing that's for the end user, not the very, how do you call them, hard to interpret things, because the worst thing you can do is to place non-SIBOs, so the opposite of placebos. Placebos are, you have a positive message, whatever it is, it brings up your energy, you're happy, it makes you healthy. Non-SIBO is the opposite, so you do an analysis and there is standing lots of diseases and lots of things, and people that are not experienced can't interpret this. So they don't know, they think they have 1,000 diseases and really go mad on it. And that's only in our professional systems. So you can analyze basically everything, but you have to take care how to handle the information. So of course, we are meeting the higher standards. We are a medical product in Germany, in whole Europe. We are also FDA cleared for pain treatment and everything connected to pain. And of course, we have a high security communication, so which is patented. So of course, as a medical product in combination with a smartphone, you have to make sure that even if your smartphone explodes in your hand, the medical device is already still functioning as it should. So this is patented that this is actually the case. We also are now in progress of patenting the quantum sensor, and it's also applied or also granted in a few countries already. And the Healy editions, I don't think I will go into deep with this. This is just the different editions you have. So you have the gold cycle, you can choose one extra program, you have the holistic health plus and the Healy resonance. And the Healy resonance, of course, contains an additional app, and with the resonance module and the aura module. And the aura module, of course, is a very unique tool, which is also very good to make the invisible visible. So it's basically you analyze the energies of your chakras, and then you analyze the things, the root causes which keep the energy low. If you have a low chakra, you analyze it, and then you find the information that actually lies behind it. And then you can also use this information to bring up your energy and to balance your emotions or whatever lies behind this problem. Of course, we have here the overview of all the devices, also the subscriptions. And of course, the funny thing is when you work with Healy, I mean, I developed Healy, all the apps and everything for years now. But if you actually do a survey on those things, I'm always surprised. So I think, yeah, I mean, it's a product, it's amazing, it's good. But when you see the surveys, I think, okay, I didn't know that we're that good. So actually 80% of the guys that are buying Healy are using it daily. Also the improvement. So we have a improvement and a strong improvement. It's almost 80% is a strong or normal improvement, and only 18% a slight improvement, only 4% no improvement. So I don't know if there are devices out there that have the same. And of course, the most important thing for multi-level marketing, for a social selling network, is the recommendation rate. So we actually had to combine different surveys, older surveys that when we were in the first development phase of Healy, to make it look much better than it actually is. So the last survey was, I think, only 3% wouldn't recommend it. And so we combined those to have at least 6% not to recommend it, because
it looked too good to be true. It looked too good to be true. Huh?
Yeah, everyone would think it's fraud. Yeah, and of course the business opportunity, I don't have to tell you about this. I think that Max can do the best.
Yeah. We talk about the business another time, I think. I think it's awesome already. Now about the technology, thank you so much. I mean, this is amazing. Again, for me, I believe, like what is so special about Healy is, first of all, the technology, which is incredible with the quantum sensor, which is basically, you know, as you said it, in real time, you know, giving you the right frequencies and checking where you're resonant. And then, of course, the second aspect is the medical advisory board, all these experts, all this knowledge, which is basically, you can't copy that, you know, in no way you can't copy all this knowledge of what frequencies need to be applied, what kind of combinations need to be used for this and this symptoms. And we have this with such a big medical board. And I think these two aspects, technology and medical board, make Healy so special. Now, when you come up and bring, of course, the watch, these different applications, you know, a watch which is analyzing you, but at the same time giving you a solution. This is revolutionizing. You know, this has never been before. There's thousands of watches on the market, right? But no watch gives you a solution. Every time you see the analysis and you're asking yourself, okay, what do I do now with all those measurements? You know, maybe you can, you know, consult somebody who can help you with that, or Google it, or maybe have something in your guts, in your gut feeling that you feel like, okay, I should do that, but it never really recommends you a solution. And I think this is really second to none, that Healy does come with a solution for your analysis. So I think the whole spectrum of products, this is just incredible. I would almost say I would like to give it free to questions, if that's okay for you, Martin.
Yes, definitely.
Because I'm sure we have some technical questions regarding the quantum sensor. I'm sure we have some technical questions how the whole thing works. So please, guys, unmute yourself if you would like to ask some questions, because I muted all of you, and shoot out some questions, please.
Sure, I'd love to ask a question.
Go ahead.
So, hi, Michael Crouch. I'm a chiropractor. So could you just give a basic idea of what we're allowed to say a quantum sensor does? Because that's, people I've spoken to so far, that's really the thing that I can't really tell them about, is and know that I'm still being in compliance with whatever the FDA legality stuff is and all that kind of stuff. So I'd love to hear what we can say and what we can't say.
So basically, that's a quite easy question. So regarding to the FDA, it's always a change of body and structure. So if you have a change of body and structure, that's something which has to be FDA approved, and that's which actually have to be FDA cleared. So that's what we can say for pain relief, because we are FDA cleared for this one. But everything that's beyond that, every program that's beyond pain relief and related things, that's everything is bioenergetic balancing in your bioenergetic field. Because the FDA is not regulating the bioenergetic field, because if they would regulate the bioenergetic field, they would say there is a bioenergetic field. And if they would say there is a bioenergetic field, they would have a problem. So if you are talking about the quantum sensor, you can always say the quantum sensor does an analysis of your bioenergetic field and gives you a recommendation. And that's something that's basically quite safe to say. And if you're talking about a recommendation for bioenergetic balancing of your bioenergetic field, then you're on the safe road.
Sorry to interrupt, Martin. Could you stop sharing your screen so everybody can see everybody and we have that discussion?
Well, that's great. So if I had,
Thank you.
so basically if they say, well, what is it picking up on? We just say bioenergetic field.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you.
Dr. Pompa. I unmute you now because I'm sure you have a question. No, I can't unmute you.
He's still muted.
I was trying to unmute Dr. Pompa, but I can't for some reason.
You may be unmuting Daniel, his son, rather than Dr. Pompa.
I can't unmute anybody. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to do this. I think you have to unmute yourself. Yeah, but Stephen, if you have some questions, shoot it out. Now it's the time.
You can hear me, yes?
Yes.
Okay, is Dr. Pompa still here?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm still here. Matter of fact, a gentleman I'm with in the clinic here in Beverly Hills has a question.
Yeah, I was
Dr.
just
Bernard.
curious. Hi, I'm Dr. Bernardo Valero, and I'm a naturopathic doctor, and I work here in Beverly Hills. We wanted to know those different devices that you showed with the different prices. Do they, as you go up in the value of each one, does the highest value one include all the same programs as the previous ones, or are they different devices altogether?
No, basically you have the Healy as a main device, and everything that goes beyond or comes on top is only programs. So if you buy the smallest version and buy the next version and the next version, you get always additional programs. So there's not one kind of thing you buy and another kind of thing that are not related. It's always on top, on top, on top.
Okay, great. And so the basic model, what does that really allow the capability for a user to have?
Basically, you have the gold cycle, which is 7 programs, which is a bioenergetic, holistic approach. So the 7 programs, one is for getting detox things done. The other is if you are having pain problems. The other is if you want to relax and all those things. So you basically have emotional balance or body balance. You have all those things. So basically you can address everything with it. And if you know that with the quantum sensor you are analyzing in the field, basically with every program that has this logical steps inside, you also have the resonance effect and the quantum effect inside, and have also a holistic treatment anyway. It just makes, with the special programs, you have those indication blocks, which makes it even more special and even more, individualized. And in combination with this gold cycle programs, you can choose one of all other program pages that are included. So we have 16 different program pages, all in all 133 programs in the normal Healy editions. And then you can choose one additional program group which fits you best, for example, chakra or beauty or fitness.
Match the picture of which studies they have.
Yeah, so then, so the one that matches the different frequencies of the foods to digest that you want to digest, is that like an additional program, or is that the basic model it comes with?
No, the digital nutrition is an additional subscription model. So you're subscribing for the digital nutrition and are getting 72 programs for just substances. So one substance, for example, vitamin E, vitamin K, and so on. And you're getting 48 mixtures, which is like vitamin A plus minerals plus vitamin D and so on combined. And you get those frequency programs. And you, of course, get the Heal Advisor app, which is a different app. And in the Heal Advisor app, you get the function that you can search for organs and everything and get those recommendations of foods. and additionally the frequency recommendation of the frequency programs. And you have a survey which you can fill out and basically find also or get a recommendation of foods and the right frequency programs from you for your body in regards to digital nutrition programs.
Right. Another question, if you don't mind, is there a function of this device that works with the immune system to directly focus it onto fighting a certain parasite or a certain bacteria or a certain virus?
So basically, this has 2 or 3 answers. So the first answer is, of course, we have some programs which generally bioenergetic strengthening the immune system, and also programs which are especially designed for bioenergetic balancing if you have bacteria or infections or something like that. So this is basically a combination of those things. And then in general, of course, you have programs that balance the hormone system and stuff like that. So you can basically attack or tackle this thing from 3 different angles.
Got it. Mm-hmm. But it does focus on each individual bacteria by analyzing and finding those pathogenic bacteria or viruses?
I wouldn't, make it so, how do you call it? So specialized on a parasite. I mean, what is the problem if you have a parasite? Is the parasite the problem, or is your immune system the problem? Why do you get a parasite? Is it that the parasite is there and everyone gets the parasite? No, you have a deficiency in your immune system or in your system in general. You have some emotional problem and the parasite then gets you basically. You are open for this parasite. So what you are aiming for is not fighting the parasite, but getting yourself in a state where the parasite has to go away, because the root cause or the thing that allows him to be there is not there anymore. For example, if you're just talking about your pH value, if you're too acid, then all the inflammation levels, all the parasites and all those things go up, since your body is not in the balanced anymore. So what we are aiming for, to get this balance back, and then the parasite goes away.
For example, like a tooth infection, let's say there's a local infection of a tooth root, and somebody might need a root canal
or cavitation.
Yeah, or cavitation. So would this be a useful device to help eliminate that naturally with surgery, let's say?
That's a very difficult question, because basically there are 3 things that you can say to that. The first thing is, of course, you can strengthen your system and can get all those things done. But the second thing is, if you have a very acute thing, then orthodox medicine is the best way to go. So I can say, if you have a terminal cancer and have a tumor which is this size, then you can say, yeah, let's apply some frequencies, it would go away. And then we come to the third answer. If it's that case that you have a very acute thing, you need to recommend every Healy user a therapist which actually is a specialist on this. So we never recommend people to do, you have a disease, buy the Healy, no problem. That's the wrongest thing you can do ever. If you have a Healy, you have the possibility to transfer from a therapist, a frequency, so the big professional devices have the possibility to create a program for especially your problem, as I told you, with the 3 logical steps and with the databases behind it, and send it to your Healy immediately through a 10 system. So you can be in Africa, your doctor can be in America, you phone them and say, I have a very strong headache, please make me a special program for this. Then he can compile it, send it to you, and in a few seconds later, if you have internet, of course, you have the program on your Healy or on your smartphone and can transfer it to the Healy. So that's what you always have to recommend. If someone comes with a serious disease, always recommend a therapist.
Can I mention that in contexting this this call, this is being recorded, and so we probably want to be conscious of the compliance context, so that it is something that is capable of being shown or listened to without any concern as to injuring the company. I think that's really important as a context as we ask these questions that need to be considered in a longer term view.
Definitely.
Hi, Soundroom here from Malaysia. Hi, Steve. Hi, Max. Hi, Martin. I just want to say hi, everybody. It's just such so wonderful to be connected here with all of you. Like Steve has mentioned earlier, I've been to the Timewaver group, actually went for the opening. I was very excited about the Timewaver because I know it's the best, not one of the best. And at that time, I can't afford it because it's so pricey, you know. And so I used to use external visits and try to get some information, go for the Timewaver. And when this Healy thing came out, I said, wow, this is magic, because my Healy hasn't gone off yet from the time I got it, okay? It's running and running and running. And I just want to tell that, I mean, for those who don't have it or those who are using it, especially the Gold series, it's just amazing because your energy levels spike up. I mean, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm still sitting here smiling and talking away, you know. It gives you tremendous amount of energy, and pain, some of the pain also is equally good. But my question is this, I just want to ask 1 or 2 technical questions. So right now, this is very cloud driven, Martina, it's cloud driven. There's no way the data is put into the handphone, because if you don't have Wi-Fi, then that's it. Or if your Wi-Fi is not good, like in some of our countries, the Wi-Fi not in every area is good, then I find difficulty in making the connection, you know.
Usually for the Healy connection, or all our systems are built that you can use them offline. So you just need the online connection to get updates or to get programs from a practitioner or something, frequency applications. Or if you have not ever activated your Healy or one of our apps, you need Wi-Fi. The rest of the time, you usually don't need Wi-Fi at all.
Oh, okay. I mean, so it's downloaded in my phone then.
Exactly.
Excellent. Okay, thank you. I just wanted that because Dr. Gobi is not here. I want to share one more thing here. This is for the benefit of everybody, because I got several devices, bioresonance device that I use from Russia and all this. So we did a test. He did shot goal with it. So he went back because he's done a lot of other scanning on himself. After I did the Healy on him, when he went back and when he did a scan back on a certain area, it spiked up like 30%. And this is with evidence. And then we did the test 2nd day and 3rd day, and it was holding. What I want to share about is the Healy energy holds, because some of it you do and then it drops, you know. And so I just want to share that part, which I'm very excited about. So now that you mentioned that it's in the phone, which is excellent, I was not very clear about that. Somebody asked me that question, so I was not able to tell. But I just want to say, I'm Healy all the way from here, man. Thank you all very, very much.
Thank you, Mohana.
Hey.
To segue into that for one moment, could you address the challenges of utilization of Bluetooth and how it can be shut off, and also the impact of the Healy on what will be a major wave of challenges having to do with the 5D, the 5G.
5G, yeah. So there are 2 things. First of all, you can always transfer your program to your Healy and then simply close your app completely, and then the Bluetooth is shut off. So you only need a Bluetooth connection to transfer the program. Of course, for the Heal Advisor app, you need a Bluetooth connection to do the analysis, but that's only a small amount of time. And if you do the vibration, so you send the information, you also need it just for a few seconds or a few minutes, or you can lie it anywhere because it's a conscious-driven process with a quantum process. So you don't need to have it on your body or something. So it can lie, and then you can do the vibration. So that's very, very important also to know, because I know also in Germany, in Europe, everyone, they are very conscious about Bluetooth, about all this electrosmog that you have out there. But you can simply shut it off, and then you have the Bluetooth off, and the Healy is running without it. As long as the right LED is blinking, the program is running. and the 5G. So we are currently working on a solution for the 5G, because we want to, so this is coming with a new version of the Healy most likely, that we have a base frequency, and then we have a second frequency which we modulate onto this frequency, and then we use that to counteract basically 5G. But that's a development project which will come, I don't know, I think 6 months we actually need for that, because we are developing so many things at the same time. So that's something to come.
So one more question from me. There seems to be, and you alluded to this, an interactive dynamic where almost the Healy and the cloud expand their intelligence and are more specifically efficacious to not only a wider array of conditions, but are more penetrable into a singular condition. Can you elaborate on that nature of the quantum science that we're working with?
So I think, as I understood it right, I hope so. So there are two things. So one thing is the information field, your bioenergetic field, your unconsciousness, your morphogenetic fields, however you want to call it, Akasha Chronic, it's all the same thing. It's a field that's outside, inside, not there, everywhere. So a field where every information is inside. Then what we are doing is accessing this field, and what your consciousness does, basically what the resonance with you and your consciousness does, accessing the right point in this field. So that's one thing what I want to say. And the other thing is, of course, the Heal Advisor Cloud, where we are data-driven, basically. So we are collecting the data which come from the customer, which come from the patients, which come from everyone who uses our systems. And then we're getting this data analyzed. And out of the analysis, we improve the whole system, that it gets more intelligent and more individualized and more, what do you call it, efficient for everyone. I hope that answered your question.
It did. So what you're saying is that we are not dealing with a static universe, either with the product or with the science. We are dealing with a gradually deepening universe, so that
Exactly.
there may be challenges that are invisible and inaudible at the moment that we may discover that the Healy may be able to address over time.
Exactly. So that's what my aim, personal aim, is also, that we get all the information we are collecting. I mean, we are not collecting because we want to sell it or want to use it for some strange purposes as other companies do. The only goal we are aiming for is to get this information, to analyze it and get you the best feedback for you that we can ever offer. And then, of course, if we have a huge base of customers, which we already have, the amount of information we get is so big that we are actually able to get new problems that come up in the whole community. Like we have, for example, those diseases which are epidemic and such things, that we can address this very fast.
Hi, I wonder if you could, earlier you mentioned that a clinical practitioner could essentially create programs for their clients and upload it into their Healys. I wonder if you could talk a little bit more about that. And then does that mean that there is a separate version of the Healy that allows them to actually do that? Do they need a special program to create those programs?
Basically, it's two things. So every Healy has a therapist page or a practitioner page, how you call it, and there you can send programs. It's 12 programs that every Healy user can get from a practitioner, therapist, whoever is using our professional systems. And the professional system we are talking about is the Timewaver frequency. So the Timewaver frequency has lots of different modules, lots of different functionalities. And one of those functionalities is to build those programs and actually send it to the cloud. So that's what our practitioners do. And what we are using is a 10. It's a number which is 9 digits long. And you can create it with your Healy if you have a Wi-Fi. Give it to your therapist or to your practitioner. He types it in his system and then can access the serial number. So every Healy has a unique serial number. You see it here. And this unique serial number is there in the cloud, and only your Healy can be accessed through the serial number, and you can get the programs.
Does the practitioner actually select specific frequencies to use, or does he select programs that you've already selected frequencies from?
No, he builds his own frequency programs out of databases. So we have this 144,000 frequency databases we have in the system. We have all additional derived frequencies, Hulda-Clark frequencies, all those known frequencies that everyone has basically, although the frequency-specific microcurrent frequencies. And you can also create your own databases. So if you have an advanced Timewaver frequency user, they have all their own databases from their own knowledge or from other sources. And then they can select whatever database they want, put it into the program and send it to you.
So do they need a different device than the Healy to actually do that? Like, do they need a Timewaver, or how do they go about doing it?
Yes, they need a Timewaver device to do that. So that's the pretty good. And we also it's also very, how do you call it? It makes sense only to give someone who actually has the experience and the money and the education to do something this power, you know what I mean?
When do you think we'll have the USA pricing?
I think the USA pricing won't be much different from the German pricing. So I
we
think,
just convert.
Yeah, I think there's not a big difference. I mean, we are usually changing it a little because of the changing of the currencies, of course, but I think the Euro and US is quite stable, so there shouldn't be such a big difference.
God, the reason I ask is because if we have a little time now to get together blog posts and different things for marketing, we'd have to put that in there. So we can't really start in a way until we have the exact pricing in place. So that's sort of my, non-healing question, I guess.
Yeah, so that's as far as I know. I'm of course not the finance expert, but as far as I know, all things that I'm involved in, so there shouldn't be a big difference.
Got it. Thank you.
Actually, sorry, Mohan. Actually, I created a video. If you look to the chat a couple of days ago, I was explaining the differences of the packages and also talk about the pricing. So we have a net price, which is always the same net price, and you add, you convert it to dollar in this case, and then you add your VAT from your market, basically. So this is how you calculate your price, but it's all explained in the video. So I think the video really explains about the different programs. Basically, just one more time to your question from before, the Healy hardware device is always the same. The difference is only in the programs. So the biggest package has another app, and this is the Healy Analysis and Healy Aura app, right? And I want to share quickly my experience with that. Really, it goes into the Aura, and measuring your chakras and your so many different things is super sophisticated. So I'm not even touching that because I really don't get it. But what I do understand is it has a really helpful tool, and this is amazing. So it has all, like what Martin already mentioned. It has the remedies, the buffalo remedies, the homeopathic remedies, and all kind of stuff which you can now measure. And it shows you with what kind of remedies you're the most resonance right now. But it also shows you with what kind of Healy program you're most resonant right now, right? So I'm everything else but not a therapist, but I love to apply it on people, right? So, and it's so amazing. So I give the Healy in their right hand and I start to analyze it, and it goes through every program. And then the results are so accurate. Yesterday, I make you an example. I met a friend, and he lives in Bali. He's one of the most happiest and calm guys I know in my entire life, right? So I give him the Healy, And then what comes up with a very high percentage, I think it was like 71%, and I've never seen that before. It was the mental balance program. And I was like, okay, that's confusing. Why is the mental balance program coming up? So I go into this mental balance program in the category, right? It's called mental balance, and you have like 12 different programs or 10 different frequency programs in there. And then it was, I think, inner strength came up with 69%, and some other things, contentment system, 64%. And I was so wondering, right? So I go through the programs again. Then I went to the gold cycle, and being came to the top, and relaxation. And then I went to the job, and it came nerve balance and positive thoughts. And I'm just like that's weird, you know. I was like, okay, you know, what's the Healy doing there again? And then his girlfriend tells me like, wow, that makes. And they look at each other and say like, this is amazing. How does it know it? So what happened to him was his mom passed away a year ago, and in a month ago he went to a chakra healing session, whatever, and he was exposed with all his suppressed emotion, and he just opened up completely. And since this time, he's like so reflecting on himself, right, and reflecting his sadness, reflecting his past emotions, and so forth. And Healy completely accurately got it in those programs, you know, and told him exactly that these programs are most relevant for you right now. If he's using now this inner strength program, of course, it's very supportive on his path to become, you know, to get out of his situation in the end, right? And this is just one example what just happened yesterday. Like 3 days ago, I had another friend, and I do the same thing on him, right? And I like to not talk too much about those, like, before I do it, because it's so surprising, because like I just do the programs. And then for him, it was the first thing that came up was allergy meridian and the meridian, like 76%. And then it was cold in the bioenergetic, like, I don't know how many percent, like high percentage. It's like the higher the percentage, obviously, the more resonant the frequencies in those programs are with you. And so I said, like, what's going on? He said, like, yeah, I have a sinus infection. You know, so he has a stuffy nose, sinus infection, all these things, what happens to your head, like the pressure, and Healy is just detecting it, right? Then another example, Stephen and me, we have a mutual friend, and he is 77 years old, and he has all kind of issues. So I went to test it with him, and that was one of the highest values I ever seen. And it was actually 82% prostate from the bioenergetic order, 85% even. And he has massive problems on the prostate and had a surgery on his prostate just lately. And he sits there and says, how the heck is this even possible? You know, how can you have a device in your hand and it's just detecting and telling you what's going on in your system? So, and this is just amazing. So for all the salespeople, within us, it's selling without selling. It's really, you put somebody the Healy in the hand, and the Healy is telling you what you have in your mind, what you have in your system. And it's so simple for all the experts on frequencies. This is a must, you know, to play with it. This is just, I mean, I see you guys who you have done it, Mohana, right? I mean, you have also tried it. It's just amazing. So this is my experience, and this is you get only with the biggest package, right? It's the extra application. And I know you guys, you haven't had the Healy yet. Some of you guys, there's so many things, so many different applications, but to be honest, like the heart and soul of the whole aspect is just the Healy itself. And I think just to learn about this little product without the watch, without the advisory app, without the whole digital nutrition, it's just so amazing as well. The other ones are just add-ons. It's just add-ons you can implement and make the system complete, right? But I just wanted to share this quickly to you. So it's really, really incredible.
And I just want to mention to you that you just saw a living demonstration of what we might call still passion. It's very quiet, very even, very non-intervention, non-invasive. It was just still passion. And this is interesting because there are undoubtedly, and you can tell more about that, Mohana, probably, there are undoubtedly vibrational changes in an individual through continual use of the Healy, such that it actually affects character and consciousness. You mentioned that to me before from your experience with the Timewaver, did you not?
Yeah. If I may share, yeah, actually, thanks, Max, you're a burning fire, man. Anyway, all of us will have that passion that Max is sharing, you know, and Martin and Stephen, because once to be fair, everyone has to use the device, because once you use the device, you'll be amazed that this small little device can do wonders, which take hundreds of doctors to do. This one device can go, well, I got 3 other devices that I have at home, which I paid a lot of money, which does all the scanning and tells you many, many areas, but it's a lot of work. But the Timewaver, Healy has come up with this thing, which is so user-friendly. And I'm not a doctor, you know, I do a lot of research in other work, but it makes you look very special. And it's spot, I use the word, it is spot on. It is spot on, you know. So I just want to say each need to have their fair share. But I got one question for Martin. Martin, you know, like, because some of the devices we use as auto run, you know, auto, you can put and then you run the next program, I noticed that for the Healy, I have to go in and do one at a time. Martin?
Yeah, so this basically refers to the thing I said. So you always have to be careful. Even from the best things, too much is not good. So you have to be conscious about using frequency applications. So that's why we didn't make something like 100 or how do you call it, infinite programs or something like that, because you have to be conscious about using the Healy, and your consciousness is affecting also the results of the Healy, of course. And even especially for older people, like Max said, if you have a 77-year-old man or woman, they some of them spend a lot of time in their life accumulating a lot of negative things, so negative eating, negative stressful thoughts, and so on. And if you now go in with a lot of frequencies, a lot of frequency changes, then they can handle it anymore. So it's too much for them. So you always need to be conscious. That's why we did it this way.
All right, thanks, man. I support that, and I fully agree with you. You know, I agree with
Martin,
you.
when you go back to and you see Marcus, tell Marcus that you spoke to a man just like him who was studying to be a Buddhist monk. You were just speaking to him, Mohana.
Yeah, very nice.
Martin, I do have a question real quick for you. Sorry, my name is Cameron George. I work with Dr. Pompa. I had a question pertaining to the accuracy of the specific recommendations in applied frequencies, because with all different bioenergetic devices, that's always my main question. And obviously you already touched on it and everything, but when you talk about actually, you know, like acquiring information on the biofield as complete as possible with the quantum sensor, I do have a question about exactly what is the quantum sensor measuring, like on an electrical, you know, from like an electrical standpoint, to be able to, you know, you sort of as completely quantify the state of a person's biofield, you know, bioenergetic field as possible. And then when it comes to actually making the specific recommendations and applying the specific frequencies, I know that you mentioned that it uses algorithms and all this, but and if you could just expand a little bit on where it's moving to dial in the accuracy even more in the future. You mentioned artificial intelligence and stuff, but I was just like how do we quantify that to make it as credible as possible whenever explaining to people how these measurements are actually, how these recommendations are actually you know, formulated?
So that's yeah, not an easy question because it's hard to explain that in a few seconds. So basically what you have with the quantum sensor is nothing like an electrical measurement or something like that. It's always a conscious related thing. So what you are aiming for is a quantum effect, which is basically a noise generator, which is, I don't know if you're familiar with noise generators. So you have perfect noise basically is a equal distribution of zeros and ones if you break it down to a binary system. So you have, if a perfect noise is, if you have 50 samples or let's say 100 samples, then 50 samples need to be 0 and 50 samples need to be 1. Then you have an equal distribution. And what happens if you talk about the peer lab, for example, they found out if your consciousness interacts now with this quantum effect, then you, from one thing to the other, you have only 2 zeros and 98 ones. So that's what on the technical level happens. So your consciousness interferes with this quantum effect, and then you get the result you want. And of course, we applied lots of algorithms and things like that. So that's also the beauty why Healy is so unique, because you simply can't copy it. You can't copy such a thing. It's not that you measure the frequency, put it in another device, and then sell it the same way. You can't copy this technology, because for one thing, it's a lot of experience, a lot of things that get into the, or build up the system, and all the algorithms are behind, and all the experience of all the practitioners that we have. This all got into this technology, and this combination makes as Max said, those results so accurate. So that I also want to share a small story from our chief content manager, who's very experienced, 25 years of experience in marketing and so on and so on. And he was sitting in his house in I don't know, in Cypern or something where it was. And he did an analysis. It's another module that we have. It's a professional module from the Healy. So he did an analysis, and they came out that it was mushrooms, or how do you call it? If someone is, if you have water in your house and then it's starting to...
You mean mold.
Mold, exactly, mold. And then out of, he did an automatic analysis out of, I don't know, it's like 60,000 different answers that were possible. There came mold. And actually in his house, the roof was broken, it was raining, and in one part of his house there was lots of mold. So out of 60,000 possibilities, mold came up. So that's an amazing thing. That's the accuracy you have. And that's a conscious thing.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. So it's constantly so it's feeding into, with the biofeedback, it's feeding in and continuously expanding and learning based on the data that it's acquiring, right?
Yeah, so you don't mix the two technologies up that we have there. So the one technology is that we have an expert database and an artificial intelligence, which is learning. The other part is the original Healy technology. So basically the quantum sensor which we are using. That's a complete other thing. It's not learning, it's not doing something different from one day to the other. It's just accessing the bioenergetic or the information field to get the information out there. So that's a complete other technology. And that's not self-learning, there's no artificial intelligence behind it. That's just the technology we're using.
May I ask the question about the law of intention? I understand that both with the individual applying the Healy or giving a demonstration and the individual receiving it, there's a really significant importance of intention. Can you explain how the Healy interacts with intention in the individual? And have you noticed any change that takes place as far as the dimensionality and specificity of intention in those using the Healy or the Timewaver, and how it affects their life? And was that part of the underlying or abstract theory behind this in its efficacy that you would expect to occur?
So that's a very nice question of you. So I try to answer it the best I can, because for Timewaver, for Healy, if you're talking about the consciousness and the intuitive using of the device and about the intention that how to use the device, there are two different possibilities. So you have one, the people that are very conscious, that are very experienced, that actually know exactly how to use intention, how to use the quantum effect, how to get the information out of the field. Then they are usually getting themselves in a state where they have a clear focus, but they don't want something. So if you are saying, yeah, I want the money, I want this thing, then your consciousness is mixed up. So your intention is wrong and your intuition goes upside down. So you doing this with a normal consciousness, you don't want to achieve anything, but you're focused. Then you have the very precise and very good analysis and very good results. The other kind of the medal, basically, or the other side of the medal, is people that are very common, that are not very experienced, but they actually intuitively using their gut feeling. So they actually are connected to their inner source, to their inner healer, to their inner voice, but they don't really know about it. They just go with the flow, and those people have amazing results also. So you wouldn't imagine how someone who actually doesn't really think about it, but just does it, gets as a result. So that's the thing. I hope that somehow explains what you asked.
It's
Can you
an
talk a little
adaptive
bit about the
technology.
time that we use the Healy? Is it several minutes a day? Is it a few hours at a time, several times a day, or does that vary entirely?
So that actually depends on your goal. So if you're a very healthy man or woman and you want to do fitness or energy programs and you think, okay, I want to just push my body a little, then you can do lots of programs. We recommend not more than 3 a day. Basically, 1 a day is a maximum that is good. 3 a day if you have a special purpose or if you have a special goal or you're really healthy. And the more severe your problems are, the more unstable your health status is, the less programs a week you should do. So you have a very old person which is very unstable, then you just give him a little information for change. That's all he or she can absorb. So 1 frequency program every 2 days or even only 1 week. So it always depends on the reason you're doing frequency application and also always on your mental and health state.
Super important.
So is that something that the Healy kind of helps guide with? Because I'm just thinking a lot of my clients come to me with a laundry list of issues, probably not in that healthy state. What are kind of the safeguards, I guess, to prevent them or me from overdoing it?
Basically, it's one thing, of course, your personal judgment, how healthy is this person? And if you think it's not in a very good state, then always recommend not more than 1 program a day. And you always have to get them into how do you call it, self thinking, I would say. You always say, you use the Healy, then you use it for 3 or 4 days, and then you feel, how does it affect you? Are you feeling better? Are you feeling challenged? What is the effect that Healy actually has on you? If you feel challenged, if you feel down, then did you drink enough water? Did you go outside, earth yourself? Did you have motion? Did you breathe a lot of fresh air? If yes, then do less frequency programs, because I think the information is too much for you.
Great. Now, very, very valuable information. I didn't know that either. Sometimes I'm having like 6 or 7 sessions a day, but I feel like I can do it.
Yeah, you look also very healthy, so you can absorb it.
Yeah, no, it's really like what I learned from Healy is listening to your body. Like I become so aware, you know, like I've never been that aware in my entire life. Like I'm waking up and I feel myself like I've never felt myself before. And that's why I feel it when my Healy is not with me. Like today, I really feel the difference. So I think this is where it boils all down to. And I think this is what you said so beautifully in the beginning, Martin. You become your own master again, right? And this is how it's supposed to be. Like, why do we need to follow these guidelines and experts, and we need those experts? And like, in the end of the day, we need to know what's good for us and what is not good for us. And I think Healy is really a tool that has the ability to bring people back on those tracks, you know, back on the tracks of understanding their own self again, you know, questioning their own self, the right questions and feeling it again. So I really become so aware about how I feel and what I need right now. And the more I use the frequency programs, now I know exactly what to expect by using positive thoughts, for example. Positive thoughts is my routine almost in the morning. I use it as almost every morning. I feel like my heart is exploding, like in a loving sense. Really, I have a beautiful day using this program. I go out and my energy level goes 5 levels up, and I just have a beautiful next 4 or 5 hours. It's just amazing. Anyway, before I start talking too much again, now we had 1.5 hours in the call. I think it was amazing. I think we have maybe time for another question or so, and then we should wrap it up. let Martin go. You've been amazing. Thank you so much.
It's actually 2:28. I wanted to say one thing, to leave you with a thought and a vision, and then if somebody wants to say something, is that I was sitting here, and awakening within me was the revelation that what is so unique and adventuresome about this opportunity of service is that it clearly articulates that we are not taking something or applying something, but we are awakening something. This is indistinguishably and incontestably unique about the Healy opportunity, the Healy technology, and how we become more self-aware by using it. That is both fascinating and humbling, and for me, very, very gratifying. And I think we're going to end the call on that note, if I may, since it's 2:30.
Thanks a lot.
I want to thank you so much, all of you who took part in this moment and shared with us the love and the service and the awe. Thank you so much. And please
enjoy the Healy, everybody. Those who have not got it, when you get it, I just said enjoy.
Please give our thanks.
Thank you all. It was the greatest call. Really appreciate it.
And let him listen to the call. I think he may appear more in public after he hears it.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks a lot for this final note.
Thank you. Awesome, Stephen. Hey, thank you, everybody, for being on that call.
Thanks.
Amazing.
Thanks, Martin. Thanks, Max. Thanks, Steve. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Sleep. Bye-bye.